Now that I have shown you all the amazing color editing features that are at your disposal here in Photoshop, it's time to put your creativity to the test, again, here at the end of Chapter 8. So to show you what I want to challenge you to do, I will go to File and Open. And in my Chapter 8 folder, I will go to the final one, 8.12. And I have two different magazine covers. You only have to choose one of them. Okay, the first three are the first cover that you're going to explore. So I could click on one, shift click number two, shift click number three. Here's my magazine. Old cars, classic convertibles. This year's best new paint jobs for your classic convertibles. Well, here's the original convertible, but I want you to recolor this one. Okay, so on our magazine cover, I want you to show me a before and after. So I can take my move tool, go to the original, drag it up, wait a second, drop it in. I might hit Command T or Control T on a PC. Maybe rotate that like a little screenshot right there. Maybe make that smaller. There we go. I can double click to the right and maybe add a stroke around that photo. That is a horrible color. So let's make that white. And let's make that a lot thinner right there, like a little snapshot. Maybe add a little drop shadow to that photo. We'll change the angle, and I'll change the size so it's not so blurry. There we go. And maybe the distance, maybe pop the angle down a little more right there. That looks pretty good, like it's floating in the air. All right, cool. I'm going to take my type tool. I'm going to click anywhere on the page, and I'll just type in before. Now with my move tool, I can move it up, hit Command T or Control T on a PC to transform. I'll just drag the corner down, maybe go outside that box and rotate it so it's kind of the same angle as my photo right here. Put a little before right there. And we'll stick it in the corner. There we go. Now I'm going to come down to the bottom, my background, and now I need to make a new paint job for my classic convertible. So I'm done with the original. I'll close it. Now I've got this one. What I always do, if you're going to replace color, Command J on a Mac. That would be Control J on a PC. Never do it on your original. When you have one predominant color, it is Image menu, Adjustments, and all the way down to Replace Color. I have that little eyedropper. I'll sample a shade of red, but that's not all the reds. So I click on the eyedropper with the plus, and what I want to do is click and drag and hit as many other shades of red. I do not want to hit these white highlights. Okay, I'm going to carefully click and drag and kind of squeeze my way through these little highlights. I'll click and drag up on these dark colors, drag down into these dark areas, maybe some of this dark red down there, but I'm trying not to hit any other colors. Now that I think I got most of this, I'm going to drag my hue slider to the left. Okay, if I start with a dark red car, I want to go with a dark color as well. You don't want to take a medium colored dark car and try to make it bright. You're going to lose a lot of reflective detail. So let's go in and hit that with more of a bluish tone right here. And I can see I kind of missed a few values. So on my Mac, I hit Command and plus a couple of times. On my PC, I would hold Control and plus. Now I can hold my space bar, move this around, and I can see some red down in there, so I'll click on that. I see a little bit of pink right there, so I'll click on that. A little bit of red next to that highlight. I see a little bit of light pink right there, so we'll click on that. I can hold my space bar and move this around. There's a little bit of red against that metal fender there, and I think that looks good. Command and minus on my Mac or Control and minus on my PC, and I can zoom out. The car looks pretty good. I'm going to click OK. But replace color sometimes works too well. Turn off the top layer for a second. Notice the curb is yellow. These curbs are yellow. This belt, which is kind of a reddish brown, now it has turned purple. These guys walking around in the background, his hand turned purplish gray like a zombie. That was just a normal figure in a maroon sweater, but now it's like this bluish gray. Got these weird green blotches. We've got a purple curb. So you always do it on a copy, and then you make a layer mask. Add layer mask. D for default colors, X to switch to black because black erases with a layer mask. And now I'll take my brush, hold Control and Option on a Mac, and I'll drag it way down, maybe drag it down for a harder brush, and to the left for a smaller brush. On a PC, I would hold Control and Alt key and use your right click button on your mouse to bring the size down. And now I just start scraping away the purple. Okay, you got to keep in mind, when I was editing the red, this warm gold tone has red pixels in it. That's why it's warm. So there's red pixels throughout this photo. There's red pixels in this guy's skin tone. There's some reddish pixels on the leather glove right there. There's some red in this guy's maroon sweater. There's some reddish tones in some of the shadows in that leather belt. There's some weird green splotches on the pants here that I want to get rid of. Like that. Over that guy's jeans right there. That's looking a lot better. I can come down to this other corner. That curb turned all purple, and I want it to remain its typical gold color, so I'm going to just keep wiping that away by painting with black. I get a lot of purple in the dirt. There were warm tones in the dirt. There's warm tones up here in the plants. There's warm tones in the plants themselves. Even the tree has turned kind of a grayish purple. So I'll wipe that off and get those original kind of grayish brown trees to come back into view. I don't want to kill the plant life around this photo. There's some reddish brown dirt back there. There's another gray tree branch. I want to bring those original trees back into view. And here's a tree that turned kind of grayish blue. That was a brake light from a car across the street. Here's some of the plants that turn kind of grayish blue. And again, as you're painting, if you accidentally do that, hit the letter X for white and put the change back on. That's what's beautiful about these layer masks. They allow you to make those mistakes and correct those mistakes when necessary. Notice the belt. Okay, the original had a reddish brown leather belt. Now I've got a purple belt. So I'm going to take my brush, make a really small brush tip, hit X for black because I'm on the right side, I'm on my layer mask, and I'm going to scrape off that brown, that purple to reveal the original brown leather belt right there. I'm essentially just scraping a hole in the top photo like that. Oop, like that. Okay, if I scrape too much right there, X for white, and I put the color change back on to cover that up. And now I've got a really nice repainted car. That looks great. I'm going to go to the upper right corner of my layers panel, pop-up menu, flatten the image, and now with my move tool, I'm going to add this repainted car up and drop it in. I'll just put it down here. Command T on a Mac or Control T to transform on a PC. And I'll drag the corner out like that. And let's put it right in here. Let's put it as two kind of screenshots here. Let's go kind of like that. Two little picture shots on our magazine cover. All right, I kind of like that. I'll hit return or enter to accept that. I want the same white screenshot or border effect. So remember, if you did an effect, you can put your cursor on the word effects, hold your Option or Alt key for a copy, and copy the word effects down to the other car. You let go of your mouse first. Now you've copied the effect. So I have two little standard shots here. But the gray looks terrible. So I'm going to go find a background photo for my cover. I'll start on the gray and I'll go out to Google Images here. Images, and I'll type in, let's see, Old Country Highway background. Like we're taking an old road trip. Let's see, I'm going to go to Tools, Size, Large. And I want to find just a good old highway that we can drive down. So let's come down here. See if we can find anything. This looks decent right here. Yeah, I'll use that. Why not? Control click or right click with your PC. Open the image in a new tab. Or in my case, it just downright downloaded it. But typically it'll show up as a new tab. Okay, let's take this one. Let's get one to actually download correctly. Control click, open the image in a new tab. There we go. The new tab comes up here. I can click to zoom in. Control click, copy the image. Now I can close out my browser. Click once on my Photoshop file. I'm already on the bottom. Edit, paste. I'm just going to push this photo down. Command T on a Mac or Control T to transform on a PC. And I'm going to drag the corner way up. I still don't have enough room, so I'm going to zoom out. Command key and minus on a Mac. That'll be your Control key and the minus key to zoom out like that. Now I have room to drag that corner way up high. So I try to fill this page with as much of this photo as possible. And yeah, that just fades to blue. I don't even like that. So I'm going to hit the escape key, throw away the background. It's my cover. I want it to look great. So I'm going to come back to Google Chrome one more time right here in a new Google Images. I'm going to type in asphalt texture. There we go. Driving down the road. I'll go to view, Tools, Size, Large. And I'm going to take something like this one, Yay Images. Let's see. That's not bad. I like that. Cool. Control click or right click with your PC. Open the image in a new tab. It comes up right up here. That is beautiful. Click to zoom in. I can see a little watermark there. I'm going to control click again or right click. Copy the image. Now we close it. click back on the gray from my Photoshop. I'm on the bottom layer, edit, paste. Now, I know there's a little watermark in this image, but it's also going to be buried underneath these cars, so I might not even have to take it out. But if that is a concern, I'm going to strip away the other layers for a second, zoom in on this photo, and I can see that little camera right there. So I take my spot healing brush. I'll just make it bigger, and I'll spot out the watermark. There we go. What watermark? I don't know what you're talking about. Perfect. Beautiful. I turn on all my layers by dragging through all the eyeballs. Here's my move tool. I've got a horizontal photo, but I've got a vertical cover. So I'm going to hit Command T or Control T on a PC to transform the photo. I can go outside and rotate it. Now I just drag the corners way out, drag that corner way out, just so it's big enough to cover the entire cover. Right there. We'll put it right there. I hit return or enter on a PC, and now I've got a cover. I've got space for an article. Tell me something else I will read about. Okay, here's my before image. I click. Command J to duplicate the word before. See, it says before copy, or Control J on a PC. And I just drag this down. I'll highlight it with my type tool right there and say after. Go to my move tool, Command T or Control T on a PC to transform. I'll rotate it, maybe make that bigger since I want people to mainly focus on our after image. I'll put that right down in the corner right there. Okay, I like that. So the only other problem is this year's best new paint jobs. That's kind of hard to read. So I'm going to click right up here. On the far right of any layer, I can double click. That brings up my layer styles. Add a layer style to help with the legibility of your text. So I'll try a stroke. I can keep that stroke thin, maybe make a white stroke, or click here and go with a dark stroke like that. I think that works better. Maybe drag it up a little more. There we go. We have enough white in the name of the car magazine. So there we go. This year's best new paint jobs for your classic convertibles. There's before and after. Type in the name of an article. What else would I read in this magazine? I will leave that up to you. I got plenty of space for it. Instead of a big dead space on my cover, give me something else to read about. Okay, if you choose to do this one, don't copy my layout. Come up with your own. Add some variations to it. Be creative. Okay, if you did old cars, you would go to File menu, Save a Copy, Last Name, First Name, Old Cars Mag. I will save that on my desktop, always as a JPEG, and it's a high quality. If you don't like old cars, I'll close that up. The other one you have is a hot rod magazine. You only have to do one of them. So you can choose either the old cars, or you choose right here in chapter 8, folder 8.12, the bottom three. Number 4, shift click number 5, and shift click number 6. You're going to do car and driver. Ouch, we crash test Photoshop's editing features. Car and driver. Plus the crop tool, the clone stamp, gradients, adjustment panel, quick selections, and much more. Our Photoshop issue related to cars. Here's your original Corvette. You can drag it over to your magazine cover, do a before shot. Here's your after. Repaint the Corvette. Go from a blue Corvette to a red Corvette. Just like on the old cars, I went from a red car to a blue car. Now you're going to go from a blue car to a red car, or a green Corvette, or an orange Corvette. Anything other than the original blue. And you add those to this cover. You change out the background, whether it's a racetrack background or a highway going off to infinity or flames because it's a hot rod car. I leave it up to you. It's your design. So if you choose to do the hot rod and you finish the cover, that would be File menu, save a copy when you're done. Last name, first name, you can call it Car and Driver or Corvette Magazine, whatever you want, but it's going to be saved as a JPEG when you are done. All right, so there we go. Time to show me what you've learned about color editing here in Adobe Photoshop and put that color editing to use on an actual magazine cover. Look forward to seeing your creativity. Good luck.